With the Stanley Cup final finally here, we can start maybe taking a look back at the Stanley Cup playoffs in 2026. And it was a kind of hit or miss playoffs altogether, I think, where we've only had two game sevens, which I think is really disappointing. We really haven't had a terribly long overtime game. We really haven't had a ton of overtime to begin with, but what was the biggest surprise for me coming from this year's playoffs? And this could be anything. This could be a team going on a big run that I wasn't expecting. This could be atmospheres or whatever it may be. Because again, the Stanley Cup playoffs are full of surprises, and this year was no different. I look back to the first round that had brawl after brawl after brawl, seemingly. So, what was the biggest surprise to me? And when I go back and I look at everything from this year's playoffs, again, when I look at the East, some of the first round series were kind of predictable. I think we all kind of knew that Carolina was going to beat Ottawa. I think Pittsburgh and Philly was kind of a toss up, and the same could really be said for Montreal and Tampa Bay. And I think we kind of had a feeling that Buffalo was going to take care of Boston, given that it was their first time in the playoffs and however long, and there was not a chance that that team was going to lose in round one. Over in the West, I feel like there were maybe a little bit more of surprises because you had Anaheim beating Edmonton, you had Minnesota beating Dallas, you obviously had Vegas beating Utah, and then you had Carolina beating LA, which again, I think everyone kind of saw coming. So there really wasn't a big surprise in round one. Round two was a little bit different because obviously new matchups, new teams, new all that. The real big surprise coming out of round two for me personally was one, the emergence of the Anaheim Ducks and playing very good against a very good Vegas Golden Knights team, and the other one being the Colorado Avalanche beating the Minnesota Wild in the way they did. Again, pretty single handedly, which I don't think a whole lot of people saw coming. A lot of people, I'm pretty sure, saw that series going at least six or seven, and the fact that we saw it end the way we did was pretty surprising to me. I'm not going to lie. The East, you obviously had Carolina sweep Philadelphia, which, again, I think a lot of people saw coming. Then you had Buffalo and Montreal go game seven, and that series was a lot of fun. But again, another one of those kind of coin toss series. The biggest surprise for me comes in the conference final because I was not expecting the Vegas Golden Knights to sweep the Colorado Avalanche like they did. In the East, I think we all kind of knew that Carolina was going to take care of business. However, I don't think anyone was expecting a sweep out of Vegas, Colorado. And yes, you can talk all about the injuries that Colorado had. Obviously, losing McKinnon, losing McCarr, those are two massive, massive players lost, and two players that you quite honestly can't replace. And I know that a lot of their depth guys had some injuries as well. Arturi Lehkonen, who is a very valuable piece to that team, was also banged up. So Colorado was still very, very injured, but I still thought that they were good enough to make that an interesting series. And the fact that Vegas just went right in, dominated from game one to game four, pulled out the sweep, just completely caught me caught me off guard. So that to me was my biggest surprise coming out of this year's Stanley Cup playoffs. Again, there were a lot of surprises to me, but the biggest one has to be Vegas sweeping Colorado. And not just sweeping Colorado, but really kind of dominating Colorado. I mean, there really wasn't a whole lot that Colorado had going for them in that Western Conference final. And a team that dominated rounds one and two, a team that dominated the regular season, that looked like this freight train that wasn't going to stop, for that train to immediately stop was something that I just, again, wasn't expecting and completely caught me off guard. The East, I don't think, had that many surprises. I think it kind of went as people expected. The only real surprise coming out of the East was maybe Montreal going to the conference final. Getting through Tampa Bay in round one, I think, was a very, very big thing to happen for them, given just how young they are. And this was really their first real playoff run. Again, them going up against Buffalo for me was kind of a coin toss. And then I think that they just ran into the far, far better team and more experienced team in the Carolina Hurricanes in the Eastern Conference Finals. So when I take a look at both the East and the West, biggest surprise to me was Vegas sweeping Colorado. Again, that to me caught me off guard the most, and I'm sure it caught a lot of you off guard, especially fans of the Colorado Avalanche. Given just how dominant that team was in the regular season, dominant in rounds 1 and 2, for them to be swept in the way they did. So this is where I want to hear from you guys. Let me know down below in the comment section what your biggest surprise was from the Stanley Cup playoffs this year. So as always, leave all of your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section, and while you're down there, swing by the description and click the Linktree link. That is the only link in the description for a reason. That is because it'll take you to all of the social media platforms for this channel. Currently, right now, we are only on Instagram and X, and I will say the Instagram page does get a little more tender love and care because that is how this entire page started in the first place. But if you do enjoy these videos and you're looking for some extra content, again, Linktree link in the description, it'll take you to wherever you want to go. And last thing before we completely wrap up this video, I do want to apologize if this video is a little bit on the shorter side of things. When this video comes out, I will be sitting on the beach on vacation. So, this video is coming immediately after filming one of my other videos. So, not only am I tired from filming, but also I'm sick right now. So, please forgive me for the shorter video. So again, I just want to apologize that this video is probably going to be on the shorter side. So with all that said and done, that is going to do it for this video here. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit the like button. If you really enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button. Again, both are free. Both really help out the channel a lot. And of course, if you have made it to this point of the video, I want to say thank you very, very much for taking the time out of your busy day to watch these videos here because it genuinely does mean the world to me. And as always, stay tuned for more hockey and jersey content coming in the future. We'll see you next time.